Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a video that was requested by my friend Christine. She was asking for some help and some tips with like pinks and reds. She had left a comment on one of my videos where she said she felt like when she wore those colors, it made her look a little sick. And the only reason I bring that up is because I have heard that from other people before. So we're going to talk about it a little bit, and then I am going to do an eye look. I think I'm going to use the Nomad Verona, the Love and Death palette, because there are pinks and reds in here, and I'm pretty sure my friend has this palette, so we're going to use that one. I had a couple of other options, but I didn't use this one that much last year, so this is the one we're going to use. But I'm going to go over a little bit of brief like color theory. I'll show you some different options for reds, some different options for pinks, and then I'm going to do a look with pink and red. Let me know if you want me to do dedicated videos with just red, like solely red looks, and I can do like 2 different shade options, and the same thing with pinks. Let me know. I was gonna do all that in this video, but then that would end up being like 6 eye looks. I don't know if everybody cares to go that in depth with it, so let me know if you want to see those, and I will definitely, I could probably do that in one video where I just do 2 different shades of red, 2 different shades of pink. But you'll have to let me know if you're interested in that. But yeah, if you're new, welcome. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not already. And let's jump into the video. Like I said, I have seen this comment before, and I have had people tell me this before with pinks and reds. I went through a period where I felt like this about purple because my under eyes are so dark and like bluey purple. I've worried like that it was going to make it look like my eyes were bruised. I do think if you're wearing a color that you're uncomfortable with, like for me it was purple, I always make sure that I color correct a little bit because I don't color correct often. Like today I just have concealer and powder. But make sure everything's concealed. Make sure you're using a good eye base where you blank everything out, because if you use more of a translucent eye base, the skin tone coming through can also affect the colors. But with that being said, I will show you the pink and red palettes that I pulled out, and then I have some that are just red so we can discuss tones, and then a couple that are more on the pinky side. But I water paint. So I have this book, if you're curious, is Dreamscapes, Creating Magical Angel, Fairy, and Mermaid Worlds with Watercolor. The pictures in it are really cool, but there's the book. It's by Stephanie Powmoon-Law. I'll try and link it down below. It's a neat book, but in the beginning here, I have a bunch of painting books. It took me a minute to find one. This is a color wheel. And you can look this up on the internet. You don't have to buy a book. Like I said, I paint. I used to paint. It's been a hot minute since I painted, but okay. So here's the basic color wheel. So you have reds, purple, blue, green, yellow. Okay, so you have 3 primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. And then the secondary colors are purple, green, and orange. And then you get into tertiary. I never say it correctly. Tertiary colors. That's probably not quite correct, but does it tell me here? Tertiary colors. I'm probably not. That's where you're getting like blue green, blue violet, red violet, you know, these other ones in between like orange and red. So those are the 3rd colors. Okay. It's helpful to figure out, like I'm a warm undertone, which is going to confuse you because when you think of warm undertones, you think of reds and pinks. That's more of an olive. So my undertone is more of the greeny yellow. It's harder to see it right now when I'm a little more fair. When I have a really good tan on, you can really see the olive come through. But for me, like you want to look, because I fall under here and I also have my eyes technically are blue, but I have an amber ring in them, so they look teal. If you come across, so reds and burgundies really make my eyes pop. So you want to go adjacent on the color wheel. Now, if you're somebody that's a little more bluey, purpley, There is a way to check. You want to look at the veins, the shades of the veins, and I will try and find some websites and link them down below. But the color of your veins and whether or not gold or silver or both look good on you can help give you an indication of whether you're cool or warm. So then you want to come and kind of stay opposite to the color wheel, because that's going to complement better. Now, do you have to do that? Not at all. But if you're struggling to find reds that work for you, I would swatch some things on your hand, look at skin tone, undertone, do some different reds, because I think where people run in, where can I stick this? Where people run into problems is, like with red lipsticks. You see one shade of red, we'll use like Ruby Woo from MAC because that's a popular shade. That's a universal red shade. Does it look good on majority of people? Yes. Is it going to look good on every single person? No, because you're going to get back to skin tone, undertone, hair color, eye color, all of that comes into play. So again, if you want more in-depth, I can certainly go do a second part to this and we can do more reds and pinks. I pulled out a couple of red palettes just to show difference in tone because, like I said, it's not one for all. So, like this palette looks better on me than this palette. Do I still wear this one occasionally? Does it look bad? No. But I think these deeper, vampier reds, brick, not even brick, like darker than a brick, like, yeah, vampier, almost plum, but not quite, blood reds, we'll go with that. So I tend to gravitate towards these shades a little bit more. I think they're a little more flattering on my skin tone. Is that necessarily the case? Not necessarily, but these reds are going to be different than what are in these. These are more like terracotta-y, bricky reds, a little bit more burgundy leaning. So these are a little bit warmer in tone, whereas these are cooler. So it's about finding reds that work for you. Because like I said, it is definitely not one for all. And I think it can also help, like I'm somebody that likes a dark outer corner. So going in with like a burgundy and then some of these like mid-tones and then a lighter, I think helps break it up. I think sometimes when you get red, I think is tricky to do like one shade in the crease and one on the lid. You certainly can, but I think that because there's not a big difference in tones on the eye, sometimes that can play into where it makes it look like you've not slept or been punched in the face, that kind of thing. I have to do it with purples, again, because I have really dark, like bags, dark circles. I tend to get darkness like on the inner part of my eye. So I try and do darker and lighter and, you know, break it up a little bit, lighter on the lid. I don't do dark red metallics on my lid only because my eyes are so small. I feel like it closes them off. If I'm going to do a darker red shimmer like this, I tend to keep that on the lower lash line, but that again goes back to my eye shape. So finding a tone that works for you is going to be key. And then I have one more. This is the Dream Master palette. So this has more of a true like standard red, but then you also have some darker shades where you can deepen up the outer corner and kind of break it up. And then you've got a lighter like blending shade. And again, swatch them on your hand and see how the tones look against like the veins and the skin color of your hand. And then that can kind of give you direction to go for your eyes. Same thing with pinks. It is not one for all. I have had many people tell me that they don't think they can pull off like hot pinks, but again, I like this. What is this? The Sleepover palette from Unearthly. You've got like a hot pink and a lighter pink, but then you've also got where this is almost like a deep fuchsia. There's a black with pink shimmer, like a sequency shade. So you've got some things to break it up. And again, like this shimmer, I would not put on my lid all over. It would go like midway between the outer corner and the lid shade or lower lash line. Because again, darker colors make my eyes look littler. And then here's another, this is the Sweetheart palette from Lorella. And again, you've got a variety of tones. You don't have to go straight into the hot pink if you don't want to. There's a couple of different ones. There's a couple of purples in here. So again, it goes back to finding tones that work for you. So I'm gonna leave these here in case any of you are interested in the red and pink videos, then I will not have to pull those back out again. Okay, and then I have options for ones that have reds and pinks. And then we'll get to the eye look, I promise. So I have the Warriors Wear Pink from Gourmand Girls. This is Syria Soto. This was a collab. I don't want to butcher her name too badly. But you've got a more traditional, true, like primary red shade. You've got a deeper blood red shade. You got a black, and then you've got some pinks in here. So you could definitely do a look with all of those. Strawberry Shortcake from Glamlight. This palette is still available also. So again, you've got a red, deeper red. You got some pinks. So you could definitely, again, combine the reds and the pinks. Oh, and then we have the palette that we're going to be using. So we've got red and pink. I don't think I've ever done red and pink from this palette. Have I used? I think I used the pink side. I know I used the dark side. I don't think I've ever used the pink side. Well, we're going to use it today. Like I said, I didn't use it much last February. I used the dark side. That sounds funny. Okay, so we're going to use the pink and the red side. So let me put an eye base on. I'll bring you in a little bit and we'll jump in. I'm using my white eye base from Gerard Cosmetics. This is the Clean Canvas in white. I have a flesh tone version. I do have a pink base too, but that would require me to get up. I do think putting down either a thicker, like concealer base, something that's going to blank out the lids, lighter, the lighter the better. Or if you want to, there are cheaper white eye bases than the Gerard Cosmetics one, so you don't have to buy that one. I have some like $5 ones. I will try and look up the brand because my pink and my black one, but I do think that that also makes a difference as far as how it looks on your skin. So I liked these Game Beauty brushes that I used the other day. Makes me want to get one of their palettes, but I don't need one of their palettes right now. Oh, I do want to mention, I do have the new, I didn't get the Royal, was it Royal Jewel one from Nomad, but I did get the New Zealand Stargazing palette. If anybody is interested in seeing, this one has some duochromes in it that actually look shiftier than that Royal, was it Royal Europe? Whatever the Royal one was. So I do have that. I didn't get the Royal Europe, but I got that one. So I have that too. But I am somebody that likes to jump in with the dark shade. So I'm going to use, this is the EO2 from Game Beauty. I'm gonna resist and not pull in a black, but I'm gonna go into ZUIL. Oh, was that supposed to be Quill? Quill. I'm like Zwill, that's not a word. Quill. And we're gonna put this in the outer. So I'm gonna do some red and then a little bit of blending out with the pink. I did get a sweater with like hearts for Valentine's Day to wear to work. It actually came today. I could have put it on, but if anybody wants to see a part 2, I'll wear my cute little heart sweater. I got it on TikTok shop and it actually feels really soft. I opened it. I think I got a large. I'm not entirely pretty sure I didn't get an extra large. I have lost a little bit of weight finally. Took forever and a day, so I've been able to, some of my newer stuff that I've got, I've been able to go a tad smaller, which if you struggled with weight loss, it's an even one size is exciting. Okay, so I am just putting that a little bit into the crease, and then I cleaned my brush off. I have a color switch here. You could use a dry sponge or a washcloth. It'll do the same thing. You don't have to go out and purchase these. Although I have seen them occasionally at like Dollar Tree. So if you can find them for $1.25, they're a good deal. I have two, and you can clean them. You can wash the sponge part. The two that I have, I've had for a hot minute. So you can clean them, but I think I got one at Sally's and one in a subscription box. Okay. If anybody cares. Then we're going to take, I'm just rambling now, the Love shade here in the middle. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. Same brush. I tend to only use 1 or 2, 3 brushes. I'm not one of those. Even when I'm doing like true tutorials, I don't tend to use a ton of brushes. You can. Some of it's because I'm in a hurry or I'm lazy. Combination of the two. And I have small eyes, so I can get away with, again, less. And another thing, if you feel like the red really makes you look unwell, like I took it a little bit in this inner part, I would say stop kind of in this zone, about 2/3 inward, and don't go with the red, because that can be a contributing factor. I don't always take the color that far in. I'm just experimenting. But yeah, placement is also going to be a factor. I have a blending brush. I'm going to get a little bit of pink. So we use 2 reds, and I'm going to go in with Balcony, a little bit of Balcony, and then this, what is this lightest shade? Paradise. Yeah, I'm not always I just want a little bit. I don't always tap off the brush, but yeah, I thought I had used the pink side. Apparently I have not. I think I swear I thought I used Cupid on my lid. Doesn't look like it's been used. Maybe I just used a little bit. I feel like I used a little bit of one of the pink ones when I was doing the look from the other side of the palette, but could be hallucinating. So we're going to take a little bit of Paradise on that same brush. And this is just to make sure we're nice and blended. I like Nomad's formula. They're pigmented, but you can build them up. They're not scary to work with. I don't think they're pretty beginner friendly. And then I'm going to deepen up this bottom part just a little bit. Normally, like, I probably would have gone in with a little bit of the black first, but that's just because I like things to be super nighttime, I guess. But we are steering clear from that in this video. So I think I'm going to use Cupid. And then I like this Comedy shade. It's got a little bit of a shift. So we'll use Cupid and Comedy on the lid. I'm going to use my NYX glitter glue on a brush, some sort of a brush. Let's see, this flat one should be all right. That's not the one I normally use, but I don't want to spend a million years here looking at what happens when it's been probably a month since I've done like full-on eyeshadow and stuff. I had planned on using my Christmas Eve palette that I got from Odin's Eye for Christmas Day, because our pajamas, our family pajamas that I got us for this year were blue and had polar bears. I got us new ones. We had some that were red and gray, and I didn't love the material, so we got some different ones. But I had pneumonia, so needless to say, I was really sick, don't remember much of Christmas, and did not put makeup on. Okay, I tried to go in with the flat brush. I'm going to go in with my finger in that Cupid shade. This one's pretty like toppery. Here we go. The finger helps. And there was a Cupid imprint in that pan. There's probably not much in there now. Yeah, this shade is pretty light, but it's pretty. The other pink shade in here is Romeo. It's not terrible. Again, that's a little bit darker than I would go like for the inner part of my eyelid. So I will make this work. I remember people saying that they had issues with the shimmers in this palette. Some of Nomad shimmers do come across a little like toppery, like this one's a little sheer, but I don't remember encountering anything that I could, like I'm layering it up a little bit to make it a little more opaque, but it also helps because I have that white base underneath, so it's not, there's a little bit of color underneath there, which I think helps. It would probably help even more like if I did the pink base, because then again, that's going to give it something more to show through, but I don't think that that's bad just like that. And then this Comedy shade, it looks like it's a red with like an orangey shift. I'm just going to put this in between where the other shimmer meets the mattes, and this is just going to help me with the blend a little bit. And you could use a brush for this. These shades are picking up better with my finger, and that could be what people were complaining about, because I saw some hit and miss reviews on this palette. People either really liked it or they didn't. I don't mind if a shade's a little bit sheer. Like I said, I can work around that. I can make adjustments. Again, put a colored base underneath. Put, you know, a shadow down first. You know, I can make adjustments. Okay. So there we have the top. Okay, for lower lash line, I'm going to take Romeo, which is that other shimmer, the third shimmer that we did not use. I don't know how it's going to pick up on this brush, but we're going to give it a whirl. It's just a little flat. Normally, I would put some sort of a pink in my waterline. I was at work today, so I was in the salon. It's been a little bit rainy. My allergies have been bothering me a little bit, so I'm not going to put anything in my waterline. And then I've been having trouble with my eyes. I haven't been able to wear my contacts. My mom has this thing where her tear ducts are clogged, I guess is the best way to describe it. I forget what it's called. The condition has a name, and I have the early signs of it, so my eyeballs feel super dry. They're super irritated. If I do put my lenses in, I can only wear them for a couple hours because it starts to hurt because my eyeballs are parched. So I just haven't been wearing it. So that's probably also contributed to me not wanting to put makeup on my face. And then I'm going to go in. We didn't use Rose. This one right here. More mid-tone, a little bit darker than Balcony. I just like pretty blown out. Lower lash line, you don't have to go that extreme. I'm just looking to see for inner corner. Trying to think. I'm going to pull in another. I'm going to use the white, the shimmery white that's in this one. What is it called? Tears. I used it for the highlight that's on my face. Because again, the only highlighter I really had was in my It Cosmetics book, and I wanted something a little bit more amped up. And I didn't want to get up. So you can definitely use like any of the shifty shades in any palette as highlighter if you so desire. Okay, so that just brightens that up. If I didn't use that, I would probably just go in with the same shade that we put on the lid, or the other one I was looking at was like that for some contrast. Juliet, the lighter like bluey purpley shade. So that is that. Let me take you back out. I'll put my glasses on and we'll discuss final thoughts and all of that. So let me put some things away and we will chat. So it goes back to finding tones. So we did get a good combination. And if you want to see looks, because I've never used this, the Warriors Wear Pink. If you want to see a look, like a pinky red look with this, I can do that. Or if you want to see me, I've used a couple of shades out of here, but I haven't used, I think I've used the shimmers. I don't think I've used a single matte in here. So if you want to see a look with the strawberry shortcake, that can also be arranged. And then again, let me know if you want to see dedicated like red and pink looks, because I could do that. So yeah, here is a look again at the palette. Like I said, if I was doing this just for me, I probably would have pulled in a little bit of the black, because again, I think it helps with contrast. Red and pink to me are one of those, just so you can get a better like final look. It would look better if I had mascara and lashes and all of that, but I'm just gonna wash my face after this. And it wouldn't be a proper video if my nose wasn't running. I think it helps break up the colors, because if you get too monochromatic, I feel like that with blue too. Blue on me, I've either got to go with a lighter blue and do one shade, or I've got to get, you know, some dimension with some different tones going on, or it starts to look weird. So I think that that can be an issue. So hopefully that helps. If you have any other questions about color theory or anything like that, leave them down below. I will try and find a website with a good color wheel, and then I'll try and find a website. They have ones where you find your season. I think technically I'm a fall or winter, and that just shows you what colors look good on you. Like jewel tones, dark purple, pink, orange, red. I think there was a quiz that I did years ago. Again, I will try and find something, because that can also help kind of push you as far as tone. Because generally, if something doesn't seem like it looks quite right, it's just a matter of needing to break up the colors more, maybe not being the right tone for you is generally all it is. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Again, leave me your questions, comments, concerns down below. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye, everybody.